Good evening, everyone. It's Serotonin. I really didn't expect to be doing this video, but I found something and it's pretty unbelievable. So I want to just share with you guys. So I was on Starship Earth Big Picture, just checking out today's postings, and I came across this. Now, I don't do social media. I don't do any of this stuff. But it just caught my eye, and so BP, as I like to call her, said, okay, sharing it again, this ancient system of control on our planet, the marauders who broke into our petri dish, turned our planet into Hell's Kitchen. Kim Possible Gauguin, who is she runs the Mana World Holding Trust, so she's the person who's financially removed all power from all of the original holders that held power up until 2012. And she's got a good head on her shoulders, and she's got a good sense of what humanity is capable of, and wants to give us the best possible opportunity, apparently. And I have no reason to doubt that whatsoever. But of course I don't know her personally, so it's all hearsay and trust at this point. But anyway, I thought, you know what? She said, check out this whole thread. If you're not up to speed on this, it'll blow your mind. So I thought, oh, I feel like I'm so up to speed, but I thought I'd check it out. I like to just check myself against information. So I clicked onto this little Twitter link, and within here, if you scroll through it, you get to yourself to a couple of videos, and the first video being here, this one, the most important thing you've never heard. And I noticed it was by Deception Bites, who's someone that I used to subscribe to quite a while ago. Her name's Michelle. She's pretty cool. She's another Canadian. And so I clicked on the thing, and I watched the whole video, and oh my goodness, it's pulling so many things together. So I've just put this on my watch history right now, so you can see what the thumbnail looks like, so you can find it easily yourself.
To the
And
far
I'm just
corner.
gonna pause it right here. So she's introducing this whole person, and I'm just gonna let you get right into it. But this person is, believe it or not, personally connected to Led Zeppelin. This woman was apparently the inspiration to Stairway to Heaven, and she was a young woman. She was a socialite in the 60s, and is apparently considered to be one of the most beautiful and terrifying women on the planet. And apparently she heads the Illuminati. So what? Okay. So then, as I'm watching, and I'm just gonna go, actually okay, there's so much information in here. I don't know if I'm gonna find the still shot, but there's a part two. So there's part one and part two. So I get to part two, and I'm looking at this. I'm listening to Michelle. Here she is in the corner chatting away, and I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this. And so the first thing that to be totally honest with you, the first thing that I saw, was looking at that image. That reminded me of that. Don't you think? Huh? Now, I don't know if you guys got through that whole video, but in that video, there's a lot of women who are dressed like this, with sort of robes wrapped around their heads and bodies, and these glowing eyes. And if you watch this video from beginning to end, which I did, they talk about this woman having specific eyes, and how all these people around her have these same eyes. Okay, then I'm going to read to you the lyrics of When the Curtain Falls, which, by the way, of course, to me, is like a Wizard of Oz, a nod to that, or to the veil lifting, as they say. And Lee, who was the person to introduce me to Greta Van Fleet, she and I have been discussing that it's actually possibly reference to the exit of the Matrix. Okay, here we go. When the curtain falls. Where you're so great and I love you so. You know, I'm your biggest fan. I saw you in the picture. I saw your picture and it's the best, the finest in the land. Camera lights and action and words you know so well. You're in and out of fashion in a Hollywood of hell. When the curtains fall, walk the hollow halls, babe. Once a valley doll. Now you're not at all, no. And here, one sec, sorry to interrupt my incredible singing slash speaking voice. This is this woman here, and this is what she used to look like. A little bit like a valley doll, don't you think? Well, I loved you in that movie show. Can I have your autograph? It's so funny. You have such charm. The whole thing made me laugh. Oh, patrol and cocktails. You're counting all your rings. What kind of rings are they talking about these days in the news? PEDO rings? One ring to rule them all? One ring to bind them? Is that what she's in charge of? Counting all her rings? They all said they love you, didn't they, darling? Well, they've taken all your things. Kim Gauguin, who I just mentioned, of Man of World Holding Trust, has not robbed, quite the opposite. In their opinion, she's robbed them. She has resumed control of all of the assets. Rightfully so, because she's apparently the next trustee in line. Fortunately, she's on our side. And when I say rightfully so, I'm talking within this construct they make. I'm not passing any opinions. This is not my world. The stuff that I'm talking about, this is part of the two worlds issue. This is their system that they do, okay? So, Obatrol and cocktails, you're counting all your rings. Now, I don't know exactly what Obatrol is. That's what, like when we just, no, troll. What is up? Okay. Yeah, it's a 60s thing. It's a diet pill. They all said they loved you, didn't they, darling? Well, they've taken all your things. When the curtain falls, walk the hollow halls, babe. Once a valley doll, now you're not at all. Well, this is where it really, and, you know, and just the visuals, you have to watch that video again. You have to see all these videos, okay? This one, I'm just getting into this one. Anyway. Well, listen, darling, it's been real swell. What can I say? You've got it all. You're a one-woman show, but I'm not gonna lie, you could use a little work at your age. When the curtain falls, walk the hollow halls, babe. Once a valley doll, now you're not at all. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye. Something I didn't mention in the last video. Do you guys remember? Hang on a second. Let's do this instead. I'm gonna do the fast route instead of taking the long route here. Do you guys remember this? If you're old enough, you will. Faith No More, yeah, did a song. Midlife Crisis. Now, when I discovered who Donald Marshall is, and you can look up Donald Marshall, I thought this video was really about him and his life. I remember back at the time, the guys from Faith No More said that it was about Madonna. But watch this video again too, and I have a feeling it's all the same person. I have a feeling it's all this same person. Okay, so that blew my mind, and that was the first thing I had to share with you. It's completely crazy to me that this woman actually knew Jimmy Page. There's a whole thing. There's a whole part of this video that describes an evening or a few evenings that they spent together. I didn't know that Jimmy Page was head of a Golden Dawn sect. I didn't know that he was supposed to be some kind of dark magician or something. This is all in there, guys. It's crazy. And here come along these guys sounding exactly just like Led Zeppelin, right? Not exactly, but they do sound like them, right? Which I never denied that they did. I was just basically pointing out that it led me down a road to find that Led Zeppelin are thieves. and witches. Anyway, I think it's craziness. I think it's so interesting that they have basically cast a spotlight on this whole situation. It's phenomenal. Now something else is
After
going on. Oops,
authentication.
something else is going on in this picture. This is for the people who do the flat earth British stuff, you know, the Tartarian stuff. What do you see here? A fleur-de-lis. Do you know where it is? It is throughout every single page, pretty much, not every single article, of this particular website that Michelle's going through here, which is a website for a place. It's apparently it's a church. No, it's a castle in Scotland. Now listen to this paragraph. I'm going to read this. This site serves as the official external communication vehicle for the World Governing Council in the Wettin Upper Chamber. If you've been directed here for instruction, note that most messages are intentionally obscure. If you have difficulty understanding a particular message, you may reach out to Luxembourg Cathedral on Node 9 of the Forgotten Frequency. What? Well, doesn't that sound like they know what they're talking about? We're talking about pipe organs and frequencies and windows that have cymatic, resonance and all this kind of stuff. And they're just like, yeah, node 9 of the forgotten frequency. And didn't Tesla say 369? Everything is 369. So I'm wondering if it's something to do with those numbers. It's totally crazy. Anyway, this woman, she's a daughter who runs apparently a whole thing. It's like a whole restaurant or whatever that deals in cannibalism. And guess what their website has all over it? Beep, beep. Fleur-de-lis. So is that a cannibalism sign? Does that means anything to do with the fleur-de-lis is at or some point to do with cannibalism? This woman's full name, she's this crazy long full given name. One of the names is Lion. Lionsgate. Is this why they're all lions all over the world? In these creepy highfalutin places, so to speak. I don't know, it's totally crazy. There's another connection. She's also connected to Hamlin, and every year on the day apparently that the children were taken from the church in the town in Hamlin by the Pied Piper, she sends a message on this website to say the children are missing and to warn parents of their children going missing. And she wrote, it's been 733 years since the children have been missing on her last thing. It's in this one. You have to watch all this stuff. Don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to watch all this stuff. And it got me thinking about the reset and the orphans and who we used to be and the idea of the difference between human and man. That human apparently is a hybrid of the Haga and man, and that man was the creation by God that was extincted from the planet. Evicted, I'm going to go with. I think there's still a few here. Extinct from the planet. Eviscerated, whatever, blah, 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 from the planet's surface. So she's saying 733 years ago this happened. It's too bad, da 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 da. It's poking fun. It's poking the beast. So who exactly left 733 years ago? Was it all the real initial inhabitants of the planets? The ones that used to live in Versailles and didn't need toilets because they didn't have to go poo. Right, Martin? Right? The whole Versailles toilets scenario. Right? Breatharianism. Why do we have digestive? Why does it seem like we're not, fully, properly evolved? Because we have all this broken, DNA and stuff. So I don't know, guys. Fascinating stuff. There's so many bits and pieces in here. I'm done for the moment. You guys have a lot to watch and catch up on, so I hope you enjoy it. All right, I'm done for now. Ciao.